Wednesday. I'm recording this today on Sunday. I probably won't post it till Wednesday because I've got a couple of beer reviews from John Anderson's. The B-mail he sent me in return for my beers. So I'll hold off a few days for posting this one. But it's the 2nd of April, which means it's 2 months since I bottled the maple bourbon porter, so it's time for another taste test. I have just had a quick cut of the grass. I'll probably give it a second cut. It's the first cut I've given it this year, which gave me an excuse to try my smash off, well, version 1 of my smash off beer. I've got to package version 2 tomorrow, but this was always intended to be my lawnmower gardening beer. This one's coming at 4.5%. I can't say what version 2 is coming because that might give you some hints if you end up with a bottle. I decided after my Friday Blues to go ahead and enter. The Smash Off seems a great competition and a chance for me to taste some different hops that I maybe haven't used before. So I have some pet bottles to package that up in tomorrow, and the rest to put in pressure barrel number 2, which was misbehaving, and hopefully I've figured out what was wrong with it, and I've been using a CO2 canister just to purge it, and hopefully that will tell me if there's any leaks. Hopefully there's none, and that will help us have the 2 versions of this really nice golden ale. This is 2 weeks old. As I said in another video, the SO4 yeast was an absolute beast with this. It's known to be a quick starter, but this one fermented in 72 hours, and version 2, I think it was actually after 24 hours I did a hydrometer check, because I pitched half a litre of the yeast cake from this one, and it had taken it down to 1005, which was very pleasing to see. And as I said, I hope when I check it tomorrow just before bottling it, it hasn't dropped below 100, because that's a sign there's something bad going on. But I think my sanitation's pretty good. Anyway, I will quickly finish this up and pop the maple bourbon porter, and then I might get another little trim on the grass. I did put in some putting holes, but I've never been able to fully take advantage of them because my grass cutting skills are not up to that of a greenkeeper. I do have a nail for a dartboard up above, and I'll maybe see if She Who Must Be Obeyed will let me throw some arrows later on, and I can maybe have another sample of this. So, I don't know how many of you have used pressure barrels in the past, but when they work, they're great. When they leak, they're a pain in the backside. So this has had a few other beers in there. Maple bourbon porter. There was a little hiss there, I don't know if you heard it. Wasn't really any gun smoke. So this was based, I think I've said before, off the Greg Hughes vanilla bourbon porter. I think I made a little mistake and put in half a kilo less pale malt than I should have. And I used Pacific Gem hops, which were on offer from my local home brew store, which is Brew Store in Edinburgh, where I have just bought my pet bottles and a bench capper. That looks really dark in here. Let's see if I can get some light. So, no, I don't think the sun's going to play ball with this, but there is a bit of rubiness to that. I can't see what's going on at all there, so I don't know if that's looking good on the video or not, but yeah, I just bought a bench capper, which has been on my purchase list, and I hope it doesn't squash the pet bottles. That seems to focus a bit better when I sit forward, so, or when I put the beer here. Yeah, okay. Never mind. So this is 2 months in. That head is a bit more impressive. These bottles are all sat in the utility room, and this has been in the fridge for 24-48 hours. I used some Pacific Gem hops instead of the suggested hops in the Greg Hughes recipe, and I stupidly forgot to adjust the alpha acids, so I think this has a lot more blackcurrant and hop bitterness going on than the original suggests. You can see from swirling there, it's got some nice lacing going on. And there's definitely a bit of maple as well as the bourbon coming through, which is really nice to see it developing. It's not dissimilar to the coffee stout, which I did previously on this. I did the Greg Hughes recipe as suggested. I used Get a Brew's custom kit to get the grain for it and used the proper hops, and I put in a triple strength single person cafetiere of coffee, which I cold brewed rather than hot brewed, and this is given a bit of the sort of roastiness that I was getting from that. There's a bit of sort of the vanilla and the smokiness from the bourbon. When I bottled it, it tasted really like Innocent Guns oak rummed ale. The maples may be there. There's a hint of black currant, which I think the Pacific Gem hops are contributing. But for 7.5%, that is very drinkable. I think the Greg Hughes book recommends 16 weeks, so this is halfway through its suggested conditioning. As I said, I'm allowing myself, well, I got a permanent job on Monday last week, so I allowed myself one of my spare bottles, 330ml bottles of this, and I've got a 500ml bottle for my birthday, but the rest of these are not to be touched until December, and I'm hoping they're going to be awesome. I hope I don't have one in a few months and then one a month later and go, oh dear, they peaked already. But looking forward to these at Christmas, and just to make sure I have a very merry Christmas season, I've got a brew from Triple as well. I tried one of those just as I was halfway through cutting the grass. I knew I shouldn't have. It was only 2 weeks in the bottle and it hadn't really carbed yet. But lovely fruity flavours there. Bit of heat from the alcohol, which I think will disappear when it's had its proper conditioning. But the rest of those bottles are squirreled away in the brew shed. I can't flip this round, and I did just try to pause it and have a flip round, so I'll have to remember to give you guys a tour of what is the little bit of a mess of my brew shed. This is all I have, and the initial agreement was all my home brewing would happen out in the shed, but I have managed to secure a cupboard inside that I use a builder's trug for my temperature control with the standard aquarium heater. We're thinking about moving, and she who must be obeyed is thankfully been sort of going, it would be nice for you to have a garage to put everything in, and my head's sort of going, brew fridge, kegerator, we'll see how much we can get away with. But I've rabbited on for far longer than I intended to. Hope you guys have a good homebrew Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day it is when you watch this. Cheers guys.